a second, I thought I'd pressed the start button twice. So there you go. This episode is brought to you by that weird orb in the sky here in the Pacific West Coast. I believe they call that the sun. We don't get a lot of that in the Northeast. Sometimes it's a little confusing. The sun. Hopefully there won't be too much of it during fire season coming up. Yay. And now here's a song. Oh, it's been a year since the lockdown. Now we're here and now we can spot how it is driving all of us crazy. It's the lockdown. And now here they are, your invenerable host, Carlos Kareem Wyndham. Hey, everybody. It's a world, and there's so much stuff in it, and we're going to talk about some of it today. Got some things. We have some thank yous, some special friends who've passed, some friends who are a little less special who've passed, some good things to talk about, some shitty things to talk about, because that's the way the world is, and hopefully it'll be a little bit entertaining. I was thinking about this a second ago, is that whether when we're doing segmented out things like this, whether it's like I'm like the fake, like your fake news friend, or just your culture and comedy correspondent, of course, with the blackness. Hey, Joshua, it's been a week. Good to see you. Fatima has the day off, and producer Tracy's on double duty today. And there went the lighter, because clumsy me. All right, let's get into some things. You know what it is if you've been with us before. First, we got to do the promotionals. Here's some promotionals. You're looking at this, and those are two places that you're looking at it. Those are two big corporate people things that that is the platform right now, because what you gonna do? If you're on one of those, the Facebooks or the YouTubes, go ahead and like on it and subscribe to it and share it. Those things, do that. And if you'd like to support this, otherwise, you know what? Just tell a friend about it. You can tell a hater about it. Somebody had said today in a thread in which I suggested that maybe the folks who privatized the Muppets and moved Sesame Street over to HBO aren't the ones who need to be worried about what the Muppets are doing on television, whether or not there's a warning now. But hey, tell them about it. Let them know about it. Somebody there said when I said that I need better jokes, and that wasn't one. I mean, that was just a fact, but I agree, and so I hired them, and they write for me now. If you would like to, you could drop 5 on it, which is just a proverbial 5. It can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 1. It can't be 3, not 3. Please don't drop 3. 3 is Ogunda. I don't need that mess in my life. 1, 2, 4, 5. Drop that at Venmo at Carlos-Wyndham, Cash App at $CK Wyndham, at PayPal /CK Wyndham. And if you absolutely love and value whatever this is, then go ahead and do us a favor and become a patron. You can do that at the Patreon at Smoke and Mirrors CCB. That's for comedy, culture, and blackness. That rolling ticker of names that you've seen going past there, those are friends and patrons who are supporting the thing. And thank you for doing that. Hopefully, it is a thing that is worthwhile to you. It is a thing that is worthwhile to you. Yeah. Yeah. Seems like it, right? That's where we're headed. And to that point, the idea that you wouldn't in 2021 want a warning on the Muppet Show it suggests that you don't understand that it was a show for adults. It wasn't a show for children. And it was on Saturday nights. And there was adult content in it. Quite a lot. In fact, the whole relationship, the interspecial relationship. I'm not against misogyny. I'm just saying it might be a topic of conversation. I can't understand how suddenly conservatives are all about race mixing. Just doesn't seem like their bag. Just doesn't seem like their bag. Speaking of bags, have you put one of these in yours? Your ear bag? Put this in your ear bag. That sounds gross. Don't do that. But if you wanted to put this in your gift bag, the way to do it would be to go to Bandcamp. And what's this? Well, this is an album. Album? Yeah. It's a thing where there's 8 to 12 songs put together by collaborators, a band, some musicians, and maybe a few producers. This one happens to be called And We Ride, which also, coincidentally, it's not a coincidence. That's how you do these things. It's not a coincidence. Is the title track. And We Ride, the title track from the first self-named album. It's not self-named. See, what are you doing? I should have a script for this part. Anyway, I'm in the band. The band is called Wallace. The song's called And We Ride. I'm on that too. It's good. I don't know what that was. I don't know. Everyone fucks things up. I fucked that all the way up. Yes, I have in fact checked out Bo, the 14th Amendment. Some of our good friends of the show, Malkia Cyril, very deeply involved in that and that project, along with Ava DuVernay. Not a friend, somebody who I've had the opportunity to make virtual acquaintance with over this year. And somebody who was once considered a friend. Van Jones is also in it and saying words that matter because they're scripted and thought out and well applied. And it's very, very good documentary. And if you've not seen it, I suggest you do. Listen, told you all the stuff we're going to get into today. There's a bunch of it. Cornucopia, a cornucopia of subjects. That was probably the weirdest vamp. Probably wasn't the weirdest vamp. This might be the weirdest vamp. This has nothing to do with anything. But I noticed that I just stretched out a word that was the beginning of a sound, and I couldn't quite figure out because the first sound wasn't the word cornucopia, and I couldn't figure out what word that sound was trying to get attached to. The first, I didn't know what that was good. I couldn't figure out where that was going. And so I just kind of left the needle on the record until I got to cornucopia. Anyway, we have some things to talk about, and we're going to talk about them. Let's take another hit. If you're listening to this with headphones, no need to cover your ears. Not going to hit another bell. Well, you know what? Let's hit a gentle bell. We could have for transitions. That'll be nice. Thank you. Good call, Joshua. Hey, first of all, thank you. You are the best community ever. I mean that. And I'm talking to our YouTubers. I'm talking to our Facebookers. I'm talking to I guess that's where it's available. So IGers, those are YouTubers too. And this is not on IG Live. I don't know. Anyway, you may remember last Thursday, there was a bit of an issue when the old seat that used to be here, which was an exercise ball, 75 centimeters, in circumference. It was well, it died. It died because I killed it when I stabbed it with a ruler. And then I did get some tape on it. I got through the first meeting that I had that day. First two, in fact. Very impressed. By the evening time when we do this, not so much. And it looked a little bit, well, quite frankly, more like that. And so we didn't get into anything. There's a whole produced thing we're going to do. I don't want to spoil it, but we're going to talk about scientific racism and all the ways that it shows up. Anyway, thank you. We told some little jokes about making a fans only and for doing maybe a live live Pornhub situation where for $1 you can see this much more of my face. So we did, and here's the whole thing. You could have just had it like that. So you did this in a way, and thank you, and do appreciate it. And let's see if it was worth your dime to do that. Hey, rest in peace, Vernon Jordan, civil rights activist Vernon Jordan, who ended up very unfortunately becoming a friend of Bill Clinton. Maybe fortunate. No, unfortunately, it left sort of a ring around the collar on the otherwise brilliant legacy of a civil rights activist who, if you are black and Generation X or above, you know who that is. And if not, wiki it. We're not going to get too deep into it. He was 85 years old. Please witness. 85 years old. That's what 85 looks like. And Vernon Jordan and I look approximately the same age. So either black don't crack or the necromancers have gotten to my bloodstream. Rest in peace to Bunny Wailer. Let me just say this. They're going to be burning and looting at St. Peter's Gate tonight. You better hold your hats there. Bonfire! Because that's it. The original Wailers, Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, and of course Bunny Wailer. It's a wrap. And thank you so much. All the world's a stage, and we're all but its players. And we have our entrances and our exits, and you will be missed. Bunny Wailer, 73 years old. 73 years old, who I would just say had Bunny Wailer either dyed his beard, shaved his beard, or chosen to dress this otherwise, would look exactly the same age as myself and Vernon Jordan. Oh, God. We don't look the same age. Stop it. That's a white myth. Cut it out. Because black don't crack. We just get those weird chocolate chip cookies as we age. Chocolate chips. Get them. Little moles. Freckles. Hey, you know who that is right there? That's Shap. Matt Schlapp, letting you know what about his face is exactly so fucking schlappable. If you don't know, this is the man who was responsible for throwing a little party that happened this weekend. I honestly am not going to spend too much time talking about, but we must mention, because it's culture, the CPAC. And there was a kerfuffle. There was a kerfuffle. It seems that what did they call it? The Odal ruin was suggested, a Nazi symbol, it was said, was also the decorative choice for the set. That the set that was designed by Mr. Schlapp was some critics were saying that it looked a bit reminiscent of a Nazi symbol. And listen, Mr. Schlapp had this to say about that. He said, no, sorry, Bob, not true. In fact, that is slanderous and bordering on libel, which means he does not know what those words mean, because unless it is put into writing or a thing that is said that is absolutely provably false and intentionally false, it's neither of those. But anyways, he said that the stage in question and that the set in question at the CPAC was not Nazi symbology. Now, aside from the American flags, I can't say that it was. I can't say that it wasn't. I did not watch the CPAC convention. I didn't watch it, but we do have some this in from the research department. Joshua, can you bring up the meme? I mean, okay. I'm not seeing it. I'm not. Okay. Yeah. I see it. I see. That's, yeah. Oh, that's real bad. All right. Well, it's not, but it's not, how is it CPAC then? Because it's supposed to be the conservative political, but that means it's not. No, that means it's NPAC, Nazi PAC. Well, there was a bigger one in New York once. It's true. Yeah. All the white people are celebrating going to Mars, Joshua. And the fact is that we wouldn't have gotten to Mars if the United States hadn't invited Nazi scientists into the United States to help us get the rocket ships up. Yes, they needed Nazi scientists and black lady calculators. They were computers. They were human computers. I mean, kind of like in the movie, but not about white people. Okay, I don't know. We can talk about it later. Let me get back to this. Anyway. So, okay. Matt Schlapp said that's not a Nazi symbol, or if it is, that it was an accident. Yeah, that's the Odal ruin. That is definitely the Odal ruin. That was definitely used on the lapels of many of the death camp soldiers in different camps, specific camps, and it was used in place of the swastika. That's where the swastika would go if you were in the national, but if you were at a particular death camp, and a few of them had it, then you had the. Whew. Okay. All right. So, well, in other news from NPAC, some other stuff happened. Oh, yeah. Madison Cawthorn, seen here, showing the total height of his integrity, is the youngest member of Congress and a rising star in the conservative movement. The thing that is happening with this young man, again, seen here, very clearly demonstrating that he does look like a Madison. I know, right? We had like a whole thing we were doing in the writer's room about, like, seen here showing us why he should have been named Caleb. but his name is Madison. 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 Like not a human being's name, like a last name from a long time ago that has only been applied as a first name in the case of Daryl Hannah's mermaid character in the 1983 rom-com Splash, directed by beloved film director Ron Howard and starring America's favorite dad, Tom Hanks. Anyway, it turns out that this rising conservative star has quite a bit of a history at his old college. That would be Patrick Henry College. Patrick Henry College, famous for Madison, where over 100 students signed a petition asking that citizens not send this person to Congress because he has a long, long history of. Are you sure this is right? Oh, okay. Alleged sexual assault. Okay. Evidently, he used to. Oh God, he used to get into. Okay, you sure? You did the research, right? All right. He used to take co-eds out for what he would call a joyride, where he would drive them very, very, very far away from the campus, then begin to ask them questions about their purity rings, sexual experience, and whether or not he might get his tip wet. If the response was, "You have just found yourself in the no-vag zone," he would get very, very upset and violent, driving very quickly on the back roads, taking turns and hairpin turns at 50, 60, and 70 miles an hour, tossing the women all about his car, then screaming at them later, "On campus, you ready to go for one of those joyrides?" He did this to several women. It's well documented. He also may have been building his rising political career on the idea that the injuries that he sustained were something that were a bit heroic and that it taught him something about overcoming adversity when at 19 he was left for dead by his best friend in the burning, fiery wreckage of a car. And he bashed his way out and climbed his way out only to wake up and discover that he was paralyzed from the waist down, except that the official report from the traffic officers, as well as his parents, excuse me. Okay. As well as his parents contradict that, saying that in fact, he was knocked dead-ass unconscious and his buddy dragged him from the wreckage, saving his life. He was a big feature at CPAC. Huh? NPAC? That feels bad in the mouth. I don't like it. All right. Well, there was a huge feature there, too. Biggest feature was Joshua. Stop it. Stop it. The biggest feature was a golden statue of Trump. Joshua, bring up the picture of the real statue. The biggest picture was that hey, my friend. Hey, my friend. That is disrespectful. That is Azar's big boy. Please bring up the real photo. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, okay. It is Azar's big boy. So, oh God, the moral majority and the conservative Christian right were out at the CPAC convention wheeling out a golden statue. Now, I get Joshua's little joke earlier about the golden calf. Not to get, listen, let me just say this at the top of the next thing I'm about to say. I'm not a Christian. I'm not. I have studied the Christian book because I was raised in a Christian country. The same way I study the dictionary because I was raised in an English-speaking country, and I cannot weaponize that language against the oppressor unless I know it very, very well. Now, there's a book in which there was a person who had to go to the top of a mountain because God said to. And God said to in front of the whole town. And that person was Moses. And God said, hey, Moses and Moses' town, when Moses goes to Mount Sinai and I tell Moses the super secret commandments, the other 10, I gave you number one. Number one is do not worship false idols. That's it. Just don't worship anyone fake until I come back. Don't worship any bullshit until I get back. And it's all good. Okay? Moses is going to come up to the mountain with me. He's going to come back down. He's going to give you 10 commandments. Just hold your little horsies. And the people went, okay. And then Moses went. Well, guess what? God time, people time took a little longer. There was some indiscrepancies in terms of there being a shared understanding of how long it was going to take. Moses disappeared for a while, and the people in town started getting fidgety because they were like, oh, God, we have to worship a God. We have to worship something. But then Moses' brother was like, yeah, but you remember when God said to don't. But the people said, but we wanna. And you're Moses' brother. If you help, it'll be okay. And so then Moses' brother made a statue by taking all of the gold from the town, and then he melted it, and he melted it down. And you know what he made with it is a golden statue of a calf. I mean, it was sacred in India, so that's pretty cool anyway, because, again, there seems to be a cultural thing that some people just really like statues. Anyway, Moses came down and saw that there was a golden statue, and it was like, wait, you guys, we just had a whole thing. You weren't supposed to. And the people went, but we had to. And then he went, oh, shit. And so you know what he did? He just took the tablets where he had all the secret commandments and just smashed them up. And then he took the gold statue and he melted it back down and he threw it in the river and made everyone in the town drink it. Anyway, they're Christians, and so that was the biggest draw at the Christian event that they were having there. So that's funzo. I'm sure that's not gonna. I couldn't come back to bite anyone in the ass if there is a God. Oh boy. Or they're gonna get up there and they will find that the gates of St. Peter have already been burned and looted because the whalers have been up there performing, and there was a bonfire. And they burned down the wicked man's gates, and heaven is now for the people. Or that. Hey, let's talk about a different thing. That'd be good. Let's do some of that. Okay, fuck. All right. Okay. So speaking of sexual abuse in politics, it's not just Republicans. Mario Cuomo, seen here unmasking for a kiss. Listen, before we... Okay, hold on. I just... Stop. Take it back. Take it off. Okay. Before we get into this, and we didn't work this out. We didn't workshop this. We didn't script this. I don't know. I'm just saying, based on what happened with Giuliani, based on what happened with Mayor Koch, I'm just going to suggest that trying to use major platforms of New York politics to bolster any ideas of national power and becoming the president or respected as the nation's mayor or something like that, that you should stop it. Stop it. It's very not, one, the job, and two, you seem to get a lot of power with that job, and it seems to make these men just do the shittiest of things because it gives them permission and not enough accountability. Anyway, hey, this guy seen here taking off his mask to tell the truth about what's happening in the nursing homes. Yeah, I just can't. I don't. Yeah, listen. Remember when the fact that he's got nipple rings was like the most exciting thing and the only meme, the weirdest meme that you could make about this guy? Like, everybody knew he was a bully and an asshole. That was not a question. That wasn't a question. And it was really cool that we all respected that he was actually giving like daily updates about COVID. But if you're articulating some basic truthish information, it's better than the hearing that the better solution is to shoot bleach into your eyeballs. So rather than mainlining bleach, it did sound very good. And, for a super jacked grandpa, it's kind of cool that he has nipple rings, you would think, until you find out that he is a serial abuser who, that is a very familiar sight to women. So anyway, there's Cuomo doing his best Woody Allen impression. Oh dear Lord. That's terrible. That's happening to Anna Ruck. Anna Ruck is. Did you see that? Did you see how my collar just slid down like that? How distracting and inappropriate. Anna Ruck is the third person to accuse him of gross behavior. This person didn't know him and just happened to be at a party, and he walked up, allegedly, although it's been verified several times, including by this very gross photo, grabbed her by her face, asked if he could kiss her. She did not know what to do, so she just kind of pulled away and walked away and hadn't said anything about it until the other two accusers came out, because it's a weird thing. Thanos talked about this, what it is to lose your legs when you realize it's not going to go your way because the power dynamic is fucked off. Your legs go to jello, and you can't do all the things you wish you could in your awesome imagination about how you would handle this, right? Like, for instance, in my imagination, I would like to think that I would John Wick this motherfucker. Here's what I would do. I would do what the girl in the back is doing, going like this. Oh, huh? What? Do they know each other? And then that would have been it for me too. Okay, so I'm not blaming her, him, any of the witnesses, anybody else for not having come forward before. What I'm saying is the dam has broken. And gross, slimy. He suggested on a flight that he wanted to play strip poker, that he should play strip poker, and his non-apology was about his jokes, his inter-office jokes being taken out of context. Anyway, men are trash. Are we done with this? Thanks. Okay. What a lot of a lot of power is lost in the misguided attempt to be polite. And let's be honest too, Bo, that the misguided attempt to be polite, I just want to point out, look at the physical size differential between these two people. Okay? The power dynamic is multiple. The thing that frightens men is being publicly embarrassed. And being embarrassed by women. Now, I'm talking about cishet men's. The thing that women's across the board are most frightened of in these kind of circumstances is the man getting embarrassed enough to kill them. So, yeah, but also, no. But also, yeah, but also, no. It would have to, the whole room would have to, and really it would have to be the male presenting folk beginning with reaching over to ask, are you okay, sis? Following up with, what can we do? How can we support? And then, making those kind of moves. That could help. That could help. Anyway, maybe not. I don't know. Glad to see you in the chats. I see you out there. Hey, what's up? It's Fams from the Book of the Face. It's a Book of the Face. That was depressing. We were gonna do a thing. All right. Hey, Black Women Rising. Let's talk about Black Women Rising. Congratulations to Andra Day. It's like Cassandra. It's not Andra. I'd say it like that because we studied it right before we came on, because I'll be perfectly honest, I did not know who this person was. This is somebody who just won the Golden Globe for portrayal of Miss Billie Holiday, the fiercest. See, I'm just going to I'll take the detour. I'll get there. Black woman to win the Golden Globe for leading actress, and the first in over 20 years. Interesting, also true, that the Golden Globes have not had any Black representation on any of the deciding committees in the entirety of the last 20 years. That is so weird. Anyway, if you've not seen this, I want to say a couple things about it. Producer Tracy and I had a looky-loo. It is an excellent portrayal of Billie Holiday, and a very fascinating story of how the government had attacked her in order to try to silence her, using her drug addiction in particular as the method to try to railroad her several times over, also using, of course, misogynoir and a lot of violence against Black women, and her in particular. So they didn't want her to sing a song. And that song in particular was Strange Fruit. And so this song was about the response of the government to her singing Strange Fruit. Of course, under the vestiges of the FBI, the prequels to the COINTELPRO program, and the war on drugs. So it's a messy story. Now, the interesting thing that I think is worth noting is that the song itself has a story as well. This was written by Abel. I can't read it from here. I got the wrong. Meerpool, glasses on. I'm supposed to have the red glasses on, and so I don't have to do this. But anyway, okay. So Abel Meerpool, this guy, he went to school at a school that is all right, I guess, if you're into schools. It's the one that James Baldwin and Spike Lee also happened to go to. Anyways, it's a private public school in New York. He went there. A lot of just Black intelligentsia. A lot of intelligentsia went there over the time, and it was great. The song was written because he himself saw a picture of lynching. He didn't see any lynching. He saw a picture of lynching, and it fucked him up to his soul. Because do you know what? If you look at a picture of lynching, which I'm not going to show you one of because it is traumatizing, and Black folks don't need to see black bodies traumatized to know that there is black bodies being traumatized because we're the ones being traumatized, do you see? So I'm not going to share a picture of the lynching. That would be gratuitous. What I will say is that he saw a picture of the lynching and he wrote a poem. And then he also happened to be an amateur songwriter. And so he did a little melody with it. And that was Strange Fruit. He gave it to a friend of his who took it to the clubs. Folks in the clubs gave it to Billie Holiday. Billie Holiday loved it, sang it, got in a lot of trouble again and again and again. They kept chasing her around, stealing her money, turning her into more and more of a heroin addict and planting heroin on her and doing all of the horrible things that this government does to black people. No big surprises there. Unless you're not black or you don't know the history of Black America, which is why Black History Month is not a thing that makes any sense. Anyway, this man happened to be a communist. And he also happened to be friends with these folks. If you don't know who these folks are, these are the Rosenbergs. These are two folks who were tried and killed by the state for treason under the Red Scare. Why? Because they were communists. And I myself identify as a cannabis communist. Don't call me a champagne socialist. So the state didn't like that. So they killed him. They killed him. I'm going to say something too. You did hear that name. It's as Jewish as it sounds, and there may have been quite a bit of anti-Semitism involved in how this went down too. You know, the same kind of anti-Semitism expressed by the Nazis. The Nazis who learned how to do the really, really good oppression from the treatment of Black and Native Americans by white Americans. And then when soldiers saw that in the death camps, then it fell out of favor when they got back, the Nazism and Hitler. That's when Hitler fell out of favor. Anyway, this immigrant couple was put to death, but guess who was alive? Their children. Cut to those children having, via a party at the home of one W.E.B. Du Bois, come into the presence and the company of one Abel Meerpool. And guess what happened then? Abel adopted the boys. Both of them. They're alive still and do quite a lot of work in human rights and fighting things like Nazis. Like the kind of people who might use O'Dall's ruin on a collar insignia or a stage for their political party. You know, Trump also only got 60% of the vote to be the next candidate, and he was on his home turf where they made a golden statue of him. How then are you going to think you're going to win a national election if you could only get 60% of your own parties? Anyway, all these people were against Nazis, and so he adopted the boys, and that's where the song Strange Fruit came from. And why this person became the winner of the Golden Globes this year for her excellent depiction of Billie Holiday. I mean, it was stunning. It was stunning. It was a thing to see. It was a thing to see. I am going to say this though: if you're going to watch that, be prepared for a whole lot of trauma pornography and gratuitous violence that really is only being shown because Lee Daniels hates black women. And boy, oh boy, does he make that even more clear than he made that in Precious. And if you don't believe me, ask Ask Monique. You can ask Monique. That means we're going to talk about something else, too. What are we going to talk about? What do we got? Oh, yeah, this motherfucker fell asleep at the Golden Globes on his couch. Hoo-wah! Speaking of Golden Globes, fuck you, Al Pacino. You know what? I haven't forgotten that this is the motherfucker who got for doing hoo-wah, right? Playing a blind soldier who walks into some sort of a student tribunal. What the fucking thing is that happening in an auditorium? Gives a whole hoo-wah speech doing some weird ableist rendition of what it is to have a disability, making people with disabilities look even worse than that conservative jackass we were talking about before, and wins the goddamn leading actor award over who? Denzel Washington playing Malcolm X. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck you. Wake up, Grandpa. I don't think I got all the way over that yet. I don't think I've gotten all the way over that yet. I'm sorry. I really liked Arthur. That was a good movie. So, Al Pacino. Oh, yeah. Right. Lori Loeffler. Remember her? Here she is, seen holding her giant balls. Former congressperson, still congressperson, former senator, Loeffler, who former, again, had her hat handed to her recently in an election by Raphael Warnock. Side note, I looked up Warnock again, and I had to remember that his first name is Raphael, because just looking at him, he looked like an Andre to me. Don't you think? Or Antoine. Just very regal, very dignified. Raphael is quite dignified. I mean, that's very, and he's a reverend too. Very dignified. God and such, if you're into that kind of thing. Like a conservative Christian. I don't know. Anyway, before he beat the dog snot out of her at the polls, the way that happened was because he had the backing of them, the whole of the Atlanta Dream. See, because they had been under the Loeffler's reign, remember, they started campaigning specifically for your boy Warnock. Now, the way that they did that, they couldn't wear these shirts into the stadium, especially because the team owner, their boss, was there. But you know what they are is women, so smart and resourceful. So they would wear these T-shirts going into the stadium, and brought a lot of attention, and brought your guy Warnock, who was then polling at 1%, into number one, and then into the seat that flipped the Senate. And who did that? The WNBA. Since then, we've been hearing that Loeffler was going to have to sell that team, and it seems that she did. And guess who bought it? Guess who's the team owner and part of the management now? Part owner, part management. There's never been a black owner, black management in the WNBA before, and certainly no former players. There are now. That's Renee Montgomery. She took a year off from playing with the Atlanta Dream in 2020 to focus on civil rights and social justice issues. And now bought that white woman's team. Black women winning. I like this segment, Joshua. We got to do more of this. I like this shit. Woo! That felt good as shit. That felt good. What else we got? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Don't ever forget. Don't ever forget. If you like sports at all, I don't want to hear shit about Tom Brady or LeBron James or anybody else. I don't want to hear about Muhammad Ali. I don't want to hear about Pele. Fuck all of that. The greatest athlete of all time, bar none, Serena Williams. Don't forget that either. Black women winning! This has been another Smoke and Mirrors. Thank you so much for joining us here today. If you like what we do, there are so many places you can see us. That could be at the IG. You can see us there at Smoke and Mirrors CCB. That's for Comedy, Culture, and Blackness. If you like the words that I say, but don't necessarily want to see them in motion or coming out of my face hole, you could go ahead and look at Twitter at Caballo Negrito. Caballo Negrito, which for those of you who speak English only, the monolingual amongst us, Caballo Negrito translates directly to Black women are better at everything. Caballo Negrito, Black women are better at everything. At Twitter. And have you a question, a thought, a comment? Hey, please feel free to go ahead and drop that in the Gmail. Smoke and Mirrors C and B for Comedy, Culture, and Blackness at gmail.com. Do you have a thought about a guest who should be on the show? Please drop it there as well. We do have more guests coming up. Scheduling has just been a thing. Listen, we do this at 4:20 in the afternoon, and when we're all locked down and working from home and not having to work as much, some of us, because it is more sustainable to do more in a shorter number of hours, and we were able to do so because there were no overseers. It was easier to book people. Now it's a little harder. When we do book a guest, I promise you, we're going to go ahead and we're going to let you know. We're going to put up an invite, and you'll know in advance, okay? But there are guests coming up this month, I promise. Okay, this here is a thing that is produced and hosted by myself, Carlos Kareem Wyndham. This is also executive produced by the one and only Tracy Tatamy. Hey, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Lisa, for staying through the credits. I'm glad that you watch all the way through till then, too. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Hey, listen, no matter what that motherfucker in Texas says, wear a mask. In fact, wear 2, 3, 4, or 5, because it seems that, again, Texas, the government in Texas just seems determined to wipe Texans off the map. I don't know why they hate their own people so much. It doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, once you have been outside in your 4 or 5 masks, whether you're in Texas or anywhere else, come back inside, take them off, wash your hands, take care of the people around you, and come join us again next time on Thursday. We would love to see you here. Why? Because, oh, we love you. Okay, bye-bye.